just keep your DREs and go with VPATs. Well, there was an editorial in the Tribune this morning that kind of busted me up because we didn't stop with VPATs and all the DREs. Let me tell you why the proposal doesn't call for VPATs. I think it's a sound reasoning for not just going with 100% VPATs. I equate it to an analogy of going on vacation. We're planning on going to Hawaii for vacation, but we get stuck in El Paso, Texas. Now, nothing wrong with El Paso, but the fact is, would you want to spend 2 weeks in El Paso, or would you rather spend 2 weeks in Hawaii? I equate stopping with VPATs as stopping halfway to your final destination. There has not been a report yet that I have seen or been privy to where VPATs have gotten rave reviews from any jurisdiction that's used them. There have been issues after issues after issues with VPATs. My job was, and is, as I shared with the governor, and he shared with me, was to ensure that Florida does not have any issues with their elections, not only in 08, but in 2010 and beyond. And so the reason we're looking at that was that we believe that if you have, and I use Miami-Dade as an example because it's almost worst case basis, if you will. And I jokingly said that to Lester yesterday, and he understands when I say Lester's the supervisor in Miami-Dade. But when you think about 749 precincts, 7,200 touchscreen voting units with 7,200 VPATs, you have 10 to 12,000 poll workers out there that have received some level of training to ensure the success on election day. That's one option. Or I can go with 20 sites, about 500 VPATs, and a more highly trained, skilled, highly selected group of people that's going to administer early voting for me. I think I'm going to go and opt for a smaller, more controlled environment than I am going to turn VPATs loose with all my 800 or 740 some odd precincts. We say, well, if VPATs are so bad, then why are you allowing them for early voting? Well, for the reasons that we've already stated, and that was elections administration for early voting. We believe that these systems, and we know that these systems were never, ever designed to have paper hung on. Never. There's not one person. I had a manufacturer tell me yesterday and admit that these systems were never designed to have paper attached to these. Why did we buy touchscreen voting systems in 2001? Why? To get rid of paper. Did we not? I was one of them. I can tell. Yes, that's why. But the problem with it is now the public sentiment is such that voter confidence is such an issue. And I use a phrase that it is what it is. It is what it is. Whether we work in an environment, election officials work in an environment, I think a lot of folks do, that perception is reality. And I think most of us in this room, if not all of us in this room, can defend touchscreen voting systems. The fact is, the public has called for a voter-verified ballot. A ballot has been marked or recorded some vote on paper so that in some instances, those votes can be retabulated or hand counted if you want to do that, or if you're ordered to do that. It's tough to do on a system. Yes, you say yes, it generates the logs, it generates the reports, that's fine. But the problem with that is, and the whole issue has been that that's post-election. It's not at the time that the ballot or the voter casts the ballot, and that's the key. That's the break-even point right there. And that is making sure the voter has the opportunity to verify their ballot prior to that ballot being cast. So when we look at why we didn't just stop it at VPATs, and we saw a potential out there with 25,000 plus touchscreen voting systems across the county, with trading one set of issues for another. It may be a very radical change. It is a radical change, but we feel that it is the best change for the voters of Florida, and we just know that voters need the opportunity to verify their ballots. I told the governor during the interview process, I said, as a supervisor, matter of fact, this first supervisor in the state to actually sign the contract for touchscreen voting systems, I said, I am physically and mentally exhausted from having to defend touchscreen voting systems. I'm known as an ardent supporter of touchscreen voting systems. I believe strongly in touchscreen voting systems, but it is what it is. And I think as election officials, we need to be very, very sensitive to voter confidence issues. I told the governor again, if voters don't have confidence in their voting systems, what do they have confidence in? What do they have confidence in? They need to have assurances that when they go to the polls to vote on any given Tuesday, that their ballot is going to be counted and it can be verified. Okay? Questions? Yes, ma'am. Deb.